Okay, hello everyone. So I just wanted to do a quick screen recording video here to kind of show you all the things that I've been adding to the Google Classroom, as well as explain some of the assignments that I've posted. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to classwork, and this is my student view that you're seeing, so this is what you should see as well. So I'm going to click classwork. And you'll see I made two different topics here. I have marking period 3 assignments that were assigned before this extended leave happened. And you'll see the COVID-19 extra credit assignments that I've assigned over this extended leave that you can get for extra credit points. Now I'm going to do the marking period 3 assignments first. The literary analysis paragraph, I'm going to click on that and scroll down to View Assignment. Now, this assignment should be familiar to you as it was something I explained in class. And I've even attached the handout that I gave in class to this assignment, so I'm going to click on that. And while it's loading here, so this should be familiar to you. All of you are supposed to be reading a book for the 3rd marking period during our independent reading time. And once you finish your book, you are supposed to be writing a literary analysis paragraph. Now, this paragraph is going to focus on a theme or a symbol that was continuously represented throughout the book. A theme is, again, the author's message. Why did the author write the book? What did they want you to learn? What was their underlying message for you? And a symbol is just something that continually pops up. If we think back to The Outsiders, a symbol in The Outsiders was the poem that Robert Frost had written. So, you need to pick one of those things about the book that you are reading, and you're going to be analyzing that literary element, analyzing the theme, meaning thinking deeper and explaining your thinking process. So to start your literary analysis paragraph, I gave you all of the steps here, but the first step is to come up with a hook that makes me interested in reading your paragraph. Hooks can include a question, a quotation, or a short story. And I said, see the picture for more ideas. So I included this graphic that has 7 different ideas that you can use to kind of learn more about different types of hooks. So that's the very first sentence. The second sentence is your thesis statement. What is your argument? What is your literary element that you're going to be discussing? Now, we practiced writing thesis statements when we wrote our paper on The Outsiders. So I gave you an example of the thesis statement. I said, in The Outsiders, S.E. Hinton stated that murder and violence can be justified through examples such as Bob being stabbed and the rumble scene between the greasers and the Socs. So, that sentence right there. I have the name of the book. I have the name of the author. I have my argument, murder and violence being justified. And I have my examples that I'm going to discuss, Bob being stabbed and the rumble scene between the greasers and the Socs. All of those elements are needed for your thesis statement. If you forgot how to write it or what elements you need, go back in your binder and look at the handout on the thesis statements. That will help guide your thinking. Step number 3, you need to have a minimum of 2 examples to support your argument. So again, this should be mentioned in your thesis statement. Example 1 from my thesis statement was Johnny stabbing Bob to save Ponyboy. My second example was the rumble between the greasers and the Socs, and that again was mentioned in my thesis statement. Both of those examples show how murder and violence can be justified. That is backing up my argument right there. Your examples should back up your argument. Now, to support your examples, to support your argument, you need to have a minimum of 2 quotes from your book. These need to be taken directly from your book. So I gave you an example here. You really killed him, huh, Johnny? Yeah, his voice quavered slightly. I had to, Pony. They were drowning you. They might have killed you. And they had a blade. They were going to beat me up. So that was taken directly from the book. You'll see my in-text citation right here. S.E. Hinton, page 57. That needs to be included for each of your examples. So whatever 2 examples you choose from your own book, you need to have 2 quotes. Then, after you give your example, after you give your quote, you are to explain why that quote relates back to your argument. Why this quote that I gave as an example about Pony Boy being drowned and Johnny stabbing Bob, why that relates to murder and violence being justified. Your explanation of that quote should be at least 4 to 6 sentences. So this isn't a 5-sentence paragraph. This paragraph is going to be much longer. Okay, so you need to make sure you are explaining yourself and finding your evidence to back up your argument. Finally, you have to have a conclusion sentence that wraps up the paragraph and just kind of ending everything. Don't forget to include transitions. So those transition words, first, second, after, in the beginning, any of those will work. And lastly, make sure before you submit, you double check for spelling and grammar. Don't forget to share the document with me and make sure your name is on the top. So you all have that sheet right there in your Google Classroom. Now if I go back, I don't know, I just clicked on. If I go back to this, you'll also see over here where it says your work that I have assigned each of you a Google Doc where you can begin typing. Now when this loads, I'll show you what the Google Doc looks like. I don't think there's anything on it actually. So yours should have your name, literary analysis paragraph, student copy, and it's still loading. Wi-Fi is a little slow here. Okay, so you'll type your name. I just read The Turn of the Key, so I could type that as my title of the book. Author of the book, I don't remember. I don't have the book next to me right now, so leave that blank. And then I would begin typing my paragraph down below. I would start with my hook. I would go into my thesis statement. I would provide an example, quote, with my citation, and then I would give my explanation of the quote. And again, this should be 4 to 6 sentences. Then I would do this again with another example. My second quote. Explanation number 2 of the second quote. Again, 4 to 6 more sentences. And finally, my concluding sentence. And I spelled concluding wrong. Okay. Once you are done with all of that, check for spelling and grammar. Make sure transitions are added. Then once you have all of that done, you'll click Turn In at the top. So up here you would click Turn In and your assignment would be ready for me to grade, and it'll notify me once you turn it in. If you don't turn it in, I won't know that you're done and I won't grade it, so make sure you click Turn In. So I'm done with that. If you have any questions, you can either send me a private comment, you can send a class comment, or you can comment on the link to this video, because more than likely, if you have this question, someone else in the class also probably has the same question. So make sure you ask. That way you can get it answered. Now the second thing I'm going to look back at, I'm at the classwork section again, but this time I'm going to click on this extra credit assignment. I'll go down to View Assignment. And this assignment is a choice board activity. So you'll click 4 out of the 9 choices. Everything is over here where it says your work. So you'll click on that again. We'll wait for it to load here, but this is all about the coronavirus. And since we are literally making history right now, I thought it would be a cool way to make some primary sources about this whole experience and how you're coping with it. So this is a choice board right here. There's 9 different options that you can choose from. However, you only need to complete 4 of these 9 options. So let's say I'm going to pick this first one. It says, capture how this virus has disrupted your school year, including sporting events, concerts, prom, graduation, etc. Obviously, you don't have prom, but you're 8th graders. So this could be affecting your formal dance at the end of the year, or it could be affecting your sports, or maybe you were supposed to go to a concert that you can't go to. That is what you would type a 1-page reflection on. Okay? So let's say I wanted to do this. I would highlight this, come up here to where it says highlight color, and I would pick a color. I'm just going to do yellow. So that is telling me that you're choosing this option. Then, once you've highlighted it, you'll come down to the bottom and you'll say task 1. And you'll begin typing your reflection here. This should be 1 page. Now, your reflection, because it's yours and this is a primary source, you can choose what font you want, what color, any of that stuff. That's fine by me. It doesn't have to be Arial size 11. Okay? It can be Comic Sans size 14, color blue. I don't care. Whatever you want to do. So some of these other options are, this one says we have entered a weird time where not only are we off from school, but the mall, restaurants, movie theaters, and bowling alleys are all closed too, forcing us into social isolation. Write a review of any movie, television show, video game, or book you've read during our time off. If you're unsure of how to write a review, look one up on the internet as an example. So if I go to Google, it'll tell me exactly how to write a movie review because that's something we've never really done before. So, how to write a movie review. Type that in the search bar. And it gives you 9 tips. There you go. So you would type all of that stuff that they tell you to do again as task number 2. This one right here I think is pretty cool. It's write a life bucket list with at least 20 things on it that you want to do before you die or even before you graduate high school. It says our time together is precious and a time like this couldn't be prepared for. How do you want to make the most of the time you do have? Make sure to explain these 20 things in detail. Why do you want to do them? So not only do you need to make a list, but you need to give me at least a sentence explanation for each as to why you're choosing them. This one is called Create a Quarantunes Playlist. What songs are getting you through being stuck at home? Create a playlist of 15 songs, then tell me why you chose to include that song. You must have a reason in a complete sentence for each song. So again, 15 songs and why you chose them. That must be a complete sentence. You can't just list the songs and be done with it. This one right here is a TED Talk. So this is linked for you. You'll just click on that link and it'll open up to this TED Talk about the coronavirus. And after you watch it, you'll have to answer these 4 questions with 3 sentences, a minimum of 3 sentences for each question. So that means that should be a minimum of 12 sentences because 3 times 4 is 12. So What did you learn? What myths did this video bust? What are the suggestions that you will take this into consideration? And do you think it is possible for self-quarantine to actually happen? Why or why not? So you'll answer all of those questions. Over here, this one says, it seems like every day a different piece of our everyday life stops. What are the top 3 COVID-19 events or announcements that surprised you the most? Such as school closing, cancellation of March Madness, NBA suspension. Then you'll just answer these questions. Why did these surprise you? How did you feel? Supply a link to an article about the event or announcement. So let's say it was about NBA suspension. You would find a website that talks about that, and you would provide some summaries of those articles. So that should total a page. Down here, it says, as the coronavirus has spread across the world, so has misinformation. Choose some coronavirus-related claims you find on social media or perhaps rumors you've heard from others. Use the technique suggested by the Infodemic blog, so right here, this link, to investigate. First, state the claim about the disease that you find through social media or heard as a rumor. Then, after researching, what did you discover? Why do you think it's so easy for misinformation to spread? So you'll have to write a 1-page reflection on that as well. This one right here is another movie review, but this is on Netflix's documentary Pandemic. You only have to watch the first episode, and you'll then write a 1-page reflection of the episode. But if you want to watch the whole thing, go ahead. If you don't have Netflix, it says you can make a 30-day free trial account if you want to go that way. So in this reflection, though, you need to say what you learned, its timing, your feelings after watching it, and if you're unsure, you can look that up on the internet again for the review part of it. And the last option is to create a poem, a PowerPoint, a video, a picture, etc. So any of those options that demonstrates what a day in your life looks like while we are in social isolation. It says get creative with it. So let's say you want to make a video of a day in your life right now, from when you wake up to when you go to bed. What are you doing during your day of social isolation? What does it look like? Okay, that's that last option. So tasks, your typed tasks would go down here. And once you finish that, you would just click turn in. Now let's say you're making a PowerPoint or you're making a video and you wanted to do that option. Under your work, you would just click the add or create, and you can upload a link. So if you upload it to YouTube, you can add it there. Google Slides, you can upload it. A file, you can upload it. Whatever you want, you would just add or create. And once you're all the way done, you can just click turn in. Okay? So again, comments can go here, or you can post them under this video and I will answer them for you. Not sure why I just exited out of that. Hold on. I gotta go back into it. That was my fault. So, once this loads again, I will show you the stream feature where I've been posting things for you to look at. And a few of you guys have been interacting with it, but I would definitely like more people to interact. Also, you should be checking this stream, I would say every day or every other day, not counting weekends. I won't post anything on the weekends, but okay, let's go to Google Classroom. ELA 8. And here's the stream feature that I was talking to you about. So you'll see the extra credit assignment is posted there, and that's not going to be due until we go back to school, whenever that may be. So you'll have this whole entire break to work on it. You'll also see that I posted this, so if you want to comment on here about what you've been doing, you can put that down there. Adriana commented on it. This is the literary analysis paragraph assignment. And this was about the Zoom meeting that we had last Friday. Now I'm going to be doing more of these Zoom meetings throughout this break. However, if you wanted to download Zoom right now so you're ready for it, that would be a good opportunity to do that now, because you'll have to download it before you can join any of the meetings. This also tells you a little bit about how it works. So, like I said, I will be posting things to this feed right here that you can comment on. And if you have any questions, please, please, please post them in the comments of the video below, and I will do my best to answer any of them for you. And I hope everyone is staying safe, staying healthy, and finding things to do over this long break. So I hope to see you all soon. And again, any questions, post them in the comments below. That's all for now. Bye-bye.